and welcome to episode number 24 of the NJ Multi-Species Podcast. I am Joe Santiago. As always, here's my partner, Chris Pereira.
Oh, no.
We have been away for 2 weeks. The Mark Medusky episode was pre-recorded, so you guys got to watch that. But last week we were away. I was in Wildwood for 1 week, and then as soon as I came back, Chris left. So we've been away for 2 weeks. I have not fished at all. Chris has fished a lot.
You didn't get to fish down there at all?
I didn't even try.
I thought you went shark fishing.
I didn't even go shark fishing. I didn't make it. My son got a bad ear infection down there. I had to take it. It was a whole big thing.
Oh, Jesus Christ. You didn't. So you really haven't fished in 2 weeks? You're not joking?
No, I have not fished.
I'd be dead. Yeah. Well, I mean, coincidentally, I tried to fish with our guest for today. I tried to fish with him while we were down there. Just couldn't make it happen. Between he obviously had trips prior booked, but he had a bunch of open days, and every day just either the weather. One day I had to leave my vacation, go to a funeral, and it just didn't work out. But I did talk to him on the phone, and I mean, I got to thank him again when he comes on in a couple of minutes here. He talked to me for about an hour and just told me all kinds of tips and tricks. I want to catch a sheep's head, and I brought my kayak down there, but we decided we looked up renting. You can rent a boat for about the same price per person as it is to rent for one person to rent a kayak. And Katie's brother-in-law, Kyle, he was going to have to rent his own kayak anyway because I only had a 2-seater and I only had one kayak. And so we just decided we just got the boat instead. And I mean, we crushed blackfish. It was just nonstop blackfish. They ended up, they didn't have any fishing boats left when we went to go get on the boat that we rented. And they're like, oh, yeah, we upgraded you to a pontoon boat. So, yeah, I was like, oh, great. Now I got to fish out of a pontoon boat. But, we made do with it. And we just crushed blackfish, like all up and down the water column. It was great. It was great action. Just could not buy a sheep's head. But, I mean, we wouldn't have had that kind of action on blackfish without some of the stuff he told me anyway. But we'll talk about it when he comes on in a couple minutes here. But his fishing was great. Slaughtered blackfish, a bunch of keepers, a couple of keepers, a lot of close calls, just barely short, but action the whole time we were there. It's great.
I did forget. I totally forgot to mention too. This episode's brought to you by Captain Ron's Fisherman in the Atlantic Islands. If you're looking for a party boat, Captain Ron's Fisherman, Atlantic Islands, over 50 years in the business there. Captain Ron's Fisherman on all social media. I'm sorry, Chris. Go ahead. Continue.
Yeah, and we're gonna Captain Ron shares his reports on his sites all the time. We're gonna try to give a weekly summary of Captain Ron's reports every week as well. So should be cool. We'll do it at the end of the episode here.
So the guest today, Scotty Sevins, he's basically a back bay guide, pretty much.
Yeah, I think that's how he describes himself too. He's down out of Ocean City, New Jersey, and his specialty seems to be sheep's head, which is awesome. And I can't wait like I said, I talked to him on the phone for an hour. And I can't wait to talk to him even more about it because it's just a fish that you don't hear much about. And, as a multi-species angler, I don't know, I just love that stuff. Like fish that are there, they're game fish, they fight hard, and you just don't hear much about them.
And who's the guest next week?
Next week we got Sky Verusio.
Sky Veruso. Okay. Something just happened to the screen.
What happened here, Deuce? Did we lose feed? I feel like Deuce's favorite porn site is about to pop up on my screen.
I'm not sure what just happened. The whole podcast just malfunctioned, but we'll just
All right,
keep
we're
going.
clear. Just go.
Yeah, other than that, I mean, John Gabarini, I haven't had a chance to talk to him. Well, I did talk to him. I wanted him to come on here. He said no. But it seems like the bass fishing has picked up for him. The numbers on his little app seem to be getting a little higher. So I guess that's good. John Voight, he's been posting big tournament coming up on Schwartzwood in that NJ kayak bass fishing thing with the app they use. That actually seems cool. Like I wish we had a boat type like club like that just like used an app and fished everywhere.
Anyone can use that app. You just have to pay for it.
Yeah, I know, but that's true. I mean, those guys, I guess they're all bass tournaments. If there was one with the boats that fished for everything that used the apps, that'd be so cool.
I mean, years and years ago, when this app was fairly new,
Bounty fishing?
Huh?
Bounty fishing?
No. After bounty fishing, there was a different site, and I can't recall the name of it. But they ran a crappie contest using that app when it was new. And even new, it was pretty smooth. It was pretty cool. I'm sure it runs much better now. But it was, it was nationwide. It was nationwide crap. There wasn't a ton of guys in it. I think there was only like 40 or 50 guys in it, but I ended up winning that one using that that they used that program. But you didn't need a smartphone. You could upload your pictures because it didn't matter. I don't know. I didn't even have a smartphone when this thing ran. I was just using a digital camera and then uploading them on there, and they just verified the size of them and then just updated whatever leaderboard they had. But it was pretty. It was cool.
It's now the new apps. Now they show your location. It's pretty cool what they could do. But with other news, before we bring Scotty Sevins on, we have the live Mark Medusky catfishing coming up in October. Chris is going to Salmon River soon. I'm going to Salmon River after him. The float trip, NJF float trip, I'll be going on that. The tournament, Round Valley Veterans, I'll be fishing in that tournament, probably with Kevin Glenn and a veteran. I'm trying to think. Oh, NewJerseyFishing.com, NJF.com. So basically, now we're sharing as much of NJF.com's posts as we can. And we're also posting links to our videos and episodes in their forum. If you're not a member of NJF.com, I mean, you go to the website and all you have to do is request a username and a password, and it sends it to Jerry, and Jerry sends you back a username and a password, and you're in. Once you have that, you're able to access all the forums, freshwater and saltwater. That's filled with information. There's so much information on there, you can almost spend years reading back through it. I mean, it's unbelievable. If you're not a member of that forum, I highly recommend joining that forum.
Yeah, and here's the thing. And just to be clear, it's a website. It's a forum. You have to type in njfishing.com. And when you go so I know a lot of guys will argue that maybe a forum type website is a little bit out of date, but my argument back would be it does offer one major thing that things like our Facebook group and the podcast itself can't offer, and that's this search function, right? You can use a search function right in that forum, and you can look up very specific fishing reports based on keywords and things like that. And I can't tell you how many times I've gone back and looked up something. A lot of times the name of the lake isn't mentioned, but if you look up the species, like let's say I want to go walleye fishing at a specific lake, and if I go on njfishing.com forum, and again, like Joe said, you need to have a username, and then you can use the search function. And I search on there, and I type in walleye. I'm going to get a bunch of posts that mention walleye. Now I could look through them, and with a little bit of research, you'd be able to figure out.
It's a weapon. It's almost like a instantaneous library of New Jersey fishing data, and you could tell right from who posted it that it's reliable.
Right, exactly. And a lot of the times, and just by reading through it, you're going to get all kinds of tidbits of information that you really just can't get anywhere else, besides like going to one of these club meetings and talking directly to people who are fishing at these places every week.
One other thing though that is interesting, like they're saying Reddit, like Reddit's the new forum. They're saying it's basically one of the biggest information databases in the world now, Reddit.
I don't even know what the hell that is.
It's a huge forum that contains 1 million forums within itself. So I went through the website, and it has a New Jersey specific forum. It has 1,500 members in it. I mean, NJ Fishing Facebook page alone has over 16,000 members. The number on the website itself is very high. So the information that's actually contained within this website is just unbelievable. And it tracks for a very long time. So you could look back pretty far. So we are now sharing our links into that forum, saltwater or freshwater. And we're also sharing all his stuff onto ours. So if you are not a member of that website, highly recommend joining. They even have meet and greets. I know a lot of guys that have just met each other over the years just from the meet and greets that they do. So, yeah,
I probably met 90% of the people I fish with or talk fishing with straight from that forum.
Yeah. So, yeah, and like Chris said, it is a website. You have to actually put in njfishing.com. It's not the Ken Beam NJ Fishing Facebook page with all the hookers on it. It is just a normal website. So, yeah, I'm going to start fishing again. Labor Day weekend's coming up. I'm going back to fishing. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to do something.
You want to fish this weekend?
Yeah. I got a 4-day weekend, actually. I'm off 4 days, Friday to Monday, so.
Oh, I actually have to work Friday.
Oof. Maybe I'll go.
You finally got me.
I might go pillage your pike spot while you're working.
I haven't even made it back there.
No, it's a mudslide anyway.
Well, yeah.
All right. Anything else to say before we get to Scotty Sevins?
There was a couple of new entries on the Skillful Angler leaderboard. And I mean, and just real quick,
that's a good thing. Listen, I forgot to mention that. We get a lot of emails and a lot of messages. Brian Cronk last week was out with Eddie Mackin, got a 19 3-inch whatever smallmouth. We see a lot of guys on Mayhem are posting they got their first certificates and the thing's cool. A lot of people continuously email and text me questions on how do I enter this fish, how do I do this, how do I do that. I made a YouTube video. The YouTube video is about 9 minutes long, and all it does is explain the Skillful Angler from top to bottom. and I show everything. That
Did you
video is in
really?
our. Yeah, I did. It's in our vault, and our producer, Du Solido, is working on it. So that video will be dropping soon. How
All
and
right.
Skillful Angler discussed.
I just asked you if you released it. You said yeah, and then you said no, I didn't.
I thought you said, "Did you make it?" I made it. It's in production. Has it? No, I don't have. Once
But
we
you
hand it
cannot.
over,
But they cannot watch it yet.
they can't see it yet. No, once we hand it over, we don't have. I handed in a fluke video 3 months ago. I still haven't seen it. We don't have control. Once it goes in, it's out of our hands.
That's
It'll be out
because
eventually.
we don't know what the hell we're doing.
No, we don't.
But
Um,
well, so do I have to watch this video and like check it for mistakes before it's released, or?
Basically, all I said in the video, I actually show a paper copy of the application, how to fill it out, how to take a picture of it and email it back to the guy.
Oh, that's how you do it?
Then, well, that's one way I showed it. Then I showed how to actually do it on the computer as a
Okay.
PDF and send it back. And then I actually showed their certificates. I showed the slam. I showed a regular one. I showed this. I showed the patches. I just wait for the video. It'll be out soon.
All right. But what I was gonna say is like I know a lot of guys, especially guys that catch a lot of nice fish and have been fishing for a long time. They like to kind of poo poo on this whole thing. And it's like, look, we're not we're not doing this to try to get a piece of paper. Like, yeah, that's cool. And a lot of people don't catch a lot of big fish and they're still learning and they're just, you got to remember back to when you were first learning to fish and those first couple of big fish that you had to work for to catch. And like it does mean something to them. But it's not even that. Um, we're kind of promoting this Skillful Angler program for a couple of reasons. One is Fish and Game uses the information that they get from this program to kind of, the way it was explained to me is basically they don't have a lot of input from fishermen, right? If you catch a nice fish and you're not submitting it into this program, are you emailing Craig Lemon or some biologist at Fish and Game and tell them, hey, look, I caught this fish. It was this big. It was from this place.
Just to
No.
jump in real quick, I did show in the video on the website, you could actually look back at the past 7 years and see
Yeah.
the winner of every year and what lure they used, what lake they caught it in, what line they used. I mean, it has all the, I mean, as long as the person didn't lie.
Well, I think some people don't want to do the program because they don't want to say where they caught it. And if it's some small ass little pond or something, like I understand that. If it's some big place, I don't really get the big deal.
If
But
it's not the leader, If it's not the leader, though, no one would ever see where you caught it. You only see the
right.
location of the leader.
But either way, I bet you if you when you emailed your submission, if you said, "Hey, look, if this fish wins, I would I don't want to share the spot. I'm just put it in your database, and I don't want to share it publicly." I'm sure they would honor that. I mean, I don't know, but the bottom line is, Fish and Game uses the information they get from this program. It's pretty much their main source of where anglers are catching big fish. So they use it like, so let's say for example, they stock X amount of a certain species in
But
this.
why would they be afraid to share the I have the leading hybrid right now from Spruce Run. Why am I afraid to share? I mean, it's either at Lake Apacon or Spruce Run, right? Or the other one, the
Right. I
reservoir.
mean, I don't know if you caught like the leading largemouth in a pond that's only 30 acres in the woods somewhere and you don't want everyone going there. That I can understand, but I mean, basically, it doesn't matter. I mean, I'm just saying, it's a reason that some guys don't do it. Other guys just don't want to be bothered. But we gotta just kind of push it on you guys because they, like I said, they get a lot of information from this. This is their main way of Fish and Game does not have people scouring these fishing groups. I mean, they are there. They do see some of the stuff. I know Craig Lemon sees a lot of stuff that I post and a lot of other people, but the info they get from this comes from all over, and they use that to supplement their stocking and stuff. It lets them know, like, we've been putting a lot of this species in this lake, and we're not seeing any return of big fish. Maybe we can reallocate those fish somewhere better where they're going to actually grow better. And I mean, and then you'll have people saying that, oh, they don't care enough to use the data for that. They do. They just do. So whether you want to participate in it or not, you're lying to yourself if you don't think you're helping New Jersey fishery as a whole.
It's basically just a free paper tourney put on by the state. That's all it is.
Yeah, and I mean, and the other thing is, like, yeah, you get a piece of paper and you get a patch. The first couple of times it's cool, then it starts kind of losing its luster a little bit, I'll admit that. But the other reason we're trying to promote this is, I mean, if it becomes popular enough, which I think just from us telling people about it, I think they've more than doubled their entries from all of last year already, and we're only in August. Right?
I mean, we don't technically have that information, but we would suspect by what we're seeing posted all over the internet that there are a lot more.
I thought you saw the total entries somewhere, but we'll see at the end of the year. They give the total entries and stuff. But like, yeah, just based off of how many times the leaders have changed this year, I could tell you straight off the bat, because I follow it every year just because I think it's interesting and I think it's fun to participate in. And just from the leaderboard changes constantly, you could just tell a lot more people are participating. And what I was going to say is,
some guy just posted on Mayhem today that, oh, this is my first certificate. Seems cool. You didn't see that?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I mean, so there's people doing it. It's just Fast Eddie that makes fun of us. That's it. Fast Eddie hates it.
Yeah, but I think Fast Eddie calls the biologists every day and tells them everything he fishes for and catches.
He views the Skillful Angler, I think, as a participation trophy, and he just thinks it makes people soft.
Oh, I mean,
but that's his outlook on everything, basically.
Well, here's the thing. So, all right. So if your fish qualifies, if it's over a certain size for the species, you get the qualifier patch. But you have to win the longest fish for that species.
All right, I already explained all this in the video. Let them watch that if they want to know.
Well, the only last thing I want to say that you kept interrupting is one of the other reason we're promoting this is because we feel like if it gets enough popularity and enough people are participating in it, they will spend more money on it. And maybe they used to give, when it first came out for the first couple of years, they used to send
Raffle.
you a pin. What?
Was it a pin?
What did you say?
I thought when you were the leader and you won, you got entered into a raffle to win a rod and reel combo. Wasn't that the way it was?
I don't know. Maybe. I didn't know about that. When I started doing it for the first...
That might have been tag trout. I don't know.
It had been going for a couple of years when I started doing it, and for the first couple of years that I started doing it, if you won, you got a pin, which is a little cooler than a patch, I guess. But even like the patches could be cooler, but they would need to spend more money on that. They're not gonna allocate money to this program unless it has the participation, whatever that may be. But
it would be cool. It would be cool if the patch was specific to the species, like if each, because all the patches are identical. Like a different patch for each species.
Well, you got a qualifying fish, or you won for the year. There's two different kinds. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. That would cost more money. And I mean, we all know government does not like to spend money for its own constituents. So,
All right,
we're hoping.
before we get political, let's get Scotty Sevins in here because it's too late already. Because Andy still's getting upset.
All right.
Scotty Sevins.
All right, here we go.
I'll be right back. All right, so our next guest, Chris, we've had a lot of guests on the show so far. We pretty much have a guest every episode. This guest is a little different because he's doing something. He's doing things that are a lot different than what most of the other guides are doing. He's been guiding in New Jersey for 4 years. Been fishing New Jersey his whole life. Here is Scotty Sevins.
What's going on, buddy?
Hey guys, how's it going?
Scott, nice to have you.
Yeah, nice to be here. I appreciate you guys asking me to come on.
Yeah, you know what? I was telling Joe before. We tried like hell to fish together when I was down there in Wildwood, but
the weather just didn't want to cooperate. Even now, it's pretty bad. I think Sunday was a decent day, but you had left already. But yeah, it's just the weather's been just a little unpredictable.
Yeah, I would have to find another hotel last minute. Probably would have been a freaking roach infested. I've done that before. I've woken up, had to get a hotel last minute, and you just wake up and there's just a cockroach running across the wall.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah, dude. When last time I went to go fish with Madosky down in Washington D.C. area.
Yeah, that's why I sleep in the boat. All right. Yeah. So Scotty, getting right into it. You, pretty much your specialty is shallow water back bay fisherman. That's what you like to do.
Yeah, that's what I do. That's my game. Anything back bay. Back bay is kind of where I found my home. I've done all types of fishing. In fact, the majority of my life was spent offshore fishing. I did that. Okay, so yeah, I offshore fished the majority of my life, and somewhere around. So what happened was my brother had passed away. It was me, my dad, my brother. The offshore thing just kind of wasn't the same for me. That was around 2011-ish, and I basically hopped on my backwater boat, and I never looked back from there. You know what I mean? And I just kind of found my peace and my serenity and my home with back bay fishing. You know, it's the kind of thing where, you know, I love offshore fishing. Don't get me wrong, but you know, it's a massive undertaking, and I almost at one point in my life forgot that back bay fishing even existed or flounder fishing even existed, and so the ease of just being able to hop on a boat and jump out, even if it's for an hour or two, to get centered and fish, like that was really appealing to me. And it was something that everything costs money, but you know, it wasn't as expensive as running offshore. And it was more accessible and within my reach, you know, and what I could do. So that's really like the shortened version of like how I ended up backwater fishing.
And then how long did you after you went back to back bay backwater fishing, how long after that did you then decide, hey, I'm kind of filling this niche that not too many other guides are doing. I'm gonna try to take this to the next level. And
so it's hard to say exactly when. I had that feeling like in my gut from the minute like I made my first cast on the flats. Like I just always imagined and envisioned myself guiding and having somebody else and giving them direction, and there's something that comes from that like fills my heart that I can't really, it's very hard to articulate. I mean, I feel like I knew right away that that's something that I wanted to do. You know, especially just like work wise and job wise. I feel like I never really found my place in the work world, and it's still trying to sort a lot of that out. But like I remember the first guide that I did, I said to myself, I finally figured out what I want to do for the rest of my life. Like I finally figured out what I want to be when I grow up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone knows exactly what you're talking about, and it's awesome because most people don't ever get to that point. And I mean, even me, I mean, I love fishing just as much as anyone else.
Absolutely.
I'm probably not, I'm not going to take that same route, but what I do is I just try to get, I get through my job. I don't hate my job. I get through it. It's something that I, don't mind doing. And then I fish as much as humanly possible in my free time. But it's the same. I mean, everyone gets what you're saying. I mean, it's kind of a dream for a lot of people, I'm sure. But that being said, I'm sure you can attest to it that it's not like it's easy. It's hard work. It's a whole different ball game than just going fishing and enjoying it.
Completely. There's a whole different level of stress that goes into it at that point when somebody is actually physically paying you now to take you out and to catch fish. Like, let's face it, like nobody wants to go out for a boat ride. Everyone's like, oh, it's still better than work. But no, we really want to go out and catch fish. That's what it is. Yeah. So it just adds a whole different layer to it. But the thing of it is I appreciate that challenge, and no matter what happens, even if it is a tougher day, I will still give 200% to do everything I can to put some fish on the boat, no matter what it takes. So, it's fishing. It is what it is. I mean, you can never count on fish, but the only thing that you can control is the effort that you put in and how hard you work for it and how bad you want it,
Yeah. And I mean, I could, even though we haven't got to fish together yet, I know that you're that type of person. And like I've said it in other episodes, I said it to Captain Ron a couple weeks ago, same thing. I said, look, like when I go fishing with you, we can tell the difference between someone who's putting 100% effort in, whether the fishing's good or not, and someone who just kind of drives the boat out there and hopes for the best sort of deal. And that makes all the difference.
Yeah, no doubt. Totally agree with you. Yeah, it's not easy, but people can tell when you're working hard and we're just going through the motions. There's no doubt about that. And to me, everybody deserves the 200% effort, so it means a lot to me that somebody would, like I said, want to go fishing with me. So it's all about the effort at that point. So
how many guys do you take, Scotty?
So here's the thing. So my typical trips are it's two people. You can add a third if you want. It's usually additional. However, I don't usually recommend it. Really, once you add more than two people, it becomes where you have to rotate people in and out. So really two people fishing at once is about the max you can get away with. Sometimes a third in some situations, but two is definitely ideal and optimum for sure.
Yeah, well, you've got a smaller boat that can get into the shallow water. You're fishing real tight to structure a lot of the time. So, yeah, it makes sense.
Does your boat have like a bonefish tower on it? Because I saw a picture of you like and the camera's looking down on you.
Oh, that is just a camera mount that I have. It's like a real tall camera mount for my cameras. So,
but does that boat have like a sight fishing platform?
No, not at all. Not at all. So, I'll just give you a little backstory about my boat and how because I was very, very particular with what I was looking for. And I wanted a very specific layout that very few boat manufacturers actually make. So when I started back bay fishing, okay, I started on a deck boat. So it wasn't even a fishing boat, but it was all that I had, you know? So, you know, it was basically
like a patio boat, like a pontoon boat?
No. It's like a dual console, you know, like cruising boat. But the deck comes from, there's a bow platform. So deck boats stay wide all the way to the front of the boat. The bow doesn't come to like a V, like most typical boats do.
Yeah.
They're more squared off, right? And
Yeah.
there's actually a bow platform and a casting platform. So with deck boats, they don't ride very well, okay, because they have a flatter bottom. However, because they stay wide all the way to the front of the boat, they're extremely stable. So even the bow of my boat, all the way up at the bow, is still 8 feet across. So I have a big platform up on the bow that I can fit myself and a person on either side of me fishing with no problems. So especially like if, number one, if you're fishing close to structure, you know, bridges or whatever, that sort of thing, you can stand right up on the bow, get 2 people across, whatever. If you're fishing the flats, fishing the marshes and so forth, you can fit 2 people across over there. And if they're people that are good anglers and work together, they can both stand up there, no problem. It gets you high, you're higher off the water, and you can cast them and work with a buddy next to you with no issues at all. So that was like very important for me. So my boat is actually a hybrid of a deck boat, okay, and a bay boat center console. So it's a little bit funny to look at because of the bow. It's like squared off. It's a little bit hard to explain unless you've seen it. But it's extremely functional, especially for what I do. I couldn't think of a better boat or a better layout for the type of fishing that I do than what I got. So, like I said, I was I saw that Nordic Star made one of these, and I drove all the way to Cape Cod to pick one up. They're not easy to find. So,
I mean, the guy that gets the specific construction of a boat that it needs to specifically fish what I'm going to fish for, that's the guy you want to fish with, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty cool. That's awesome.
From, I guess, by Nordic Star, but I got used to fishing on something that was extremely wide and extremely stable. And I tried looking at other bay boats and center consoles, but I just could not see myself or wrap my brain around feeling comfortable fishing on one of those boats after I fished on something with a high, wide bow platform, like basically my entire backwater career. So yeah, it was something.
Do you sight fish a lot?
Yeah, sight fish. You know, this time of year, not really. We're starting to get into like the marsh and flats fishing is starting to, it'll be picking up here pretty soon within the next few weeks, I would say. Like once this mullet run kicks off, it's usually on. And usually a lot of that is going into like October, early November. But so yes, I do some sight fishing, but you know, a lot of it's difficult because in Jersey, you know, we don't really have very clear water, but you are constantly looking and scanning and glassing water behind you, in front of you, looking
it's
for
a lot clearer down there than it is up by us.
You ever see cobia?
No, I don't do that. They're mainly out front. I'm more marshes and backwater, that sort of thing.
That's cool.
I love to get a Jersey cobia. Just the opportunity hasn't presented itself.
I did hear that. I don't know if this was confirmed or not, but apparently a couple of cobia came into Shark River a couple of weeks back.
I actually think that they were caught in Barnegat Bay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
it was an amberjack caught in Barnegat Bay, believe it or not, this year.
Yeah, I think someone caught a snowy grouper back in one of the bays as well.
Yep, I believe it. Yeah, the one guy had the tarpon at his dock earlier. Maybe this was like 6 weeks ago or something like that. I believe he was from like Manasquan or something like that. There was a picture that was floating around Instagram. He had a literal tarpon at his dock in New Jersey.
That's wild.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah.
Joe, did you get a chance to check out some of Scotty's, like the photos he takes?
Yes, I did.
They're awesome. Did you, Scotty? Did you see John Fallon? We had an episode with John Fallon. We went fishing with him and stuff.
Yeah, I actually talked to John. I did not see the episode, but I didn't know that you guys had him on. I've been talking to John for a while. He's one of those guys that like I immediately took to. He is an incredible photographer, and he is extremely well versed in that he just doesn't shoot one subject. I mean, it's hunting, fishing, saltwater, freshwater, like antler sheds, everything, birds. Like he does it all, and he does it all very well. And he actually, we have a similar style and taste in editing. So, like I said, like I'm a big fan of John's work.
Yeah, that's kind of why I asked you. It seemed they seem something similar. There seemed to be something similar in like the editing, the colors, what you make pop and stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
Wherever we go, sometimes Fallon seems to follow.
Really?
Usually.
Well, he came fit. He's and like you. I mean, he's the coolest guy in the world. You've only talked to him. Have you met him?
Never met him in person. We had actually talked about trying to shoot a couple of years ago. We were trying to get together to do a shoot, but it never really happened. You know what I mean? So
yeah, he came fishing with us. We caught some landlocked salmon, smallmouth, stuff like that.
That's awesome.
He would not touch a fishing rod. He would not take his finger off of that camera.
Yeah, I believe it.
That video's on YouTube too. Fishing with John Fallon. It's on there.
Okay.
Yeah, we took video of it. He took some pretty cool pictures, like fish jumping and stuff. Some like release photos. I begged him to catch a fucking fish.
Well, really? John doesn't fish. John doesn't fish, and this guy takes two guys, so we could go with him, and John could come.
Can you fit a third guy that just takes pictures?
Not a problem at all.
There you go.
Yeah,
all right.
That would actually be awesome. That would be fun.
No problem.
Yeah. I believe
Fallon's like my biggest bargaining chip to get me in everywhere.
I believe it.
Like I'm bringing John. All right, come on down. Like everyone wants Fallon.
Hold on, I gotta ask because I feel like I missed something. I see you lifting up that pineapple cup and taking sips out of it. All right, and I've seen you make jokes and like you bring pineapples fishing with you and stuff. But
there's two stuffed animals behind them too. Of pineapple.
Yeah. I call it my vignette. You know what I mean? The thing with the pineapple for me, I never leave the dock without a pineapple ever. In fact, right now at this very moment, I have two sitting in my cooler on my boat. To me, it's a good luck thing. You know, could I catch fish without a pineapple? Maybe, you never know. But do I feel like I catch more fish with a pineapple? Absolutely. So it's just a sign of peace, good luck, good vibes, good energy. Like
there's no story behind this. They're just good luck to you.
Yeah. It's just I've been obsessed with pineapples like for years, and like I said, like I never, even offshore fishing, never went offshore without a pineapple. Everybody, I'm known for my pineapples.
Do you eat it? Do you eat the pineapple?
No, I love to eat pineapple, but I'm afraid to say by the time I'm done with them, they're not in the best eating condition, if you see what I'm saying.
See, if I'm down the shore, like on my tuna boat, and I see somebody like carrying a pineapple on, I'm just saying, what's wrong with this guy? Like you're getting on with a full pineapple uncut.
If you know what I mean,
dude. Joe's going to cut the part where you said, I'm known for my pineapples. And he's going to post that everywhere.
No, but he's walking around with an uncut pineapple and a fishing pole. That I've seen a lot of weird shit, but now
I'm not walking around with it. It's in my cooler. So don't you have superstitions, man?
I got superstitions.
Okay, pineapple's mine. That's all you need to wrap your head around.
It's basically the reverse banana. It's the reverse of the banana.
What
is
your beliefs on bananas?
I don't even want to say banana on the boat.
Okay, so he believes in that.
Anybody else,
if I bring a banana on the boat and you have your pineapple, it's not gonna cancel it out.
That's like grounds for instant ejection.
All right.
Every time Chris comes on my boat, something gets lost or broken. Doesn't matter what anyone brings.
Really?
Yeah, every time.
I mean, I don't know. It's not every time, Joe. It's not every time, but the one time the planer board popped off, I didn't put that planer board on. I'm telling you.
No, we were reeling it. Well, I'm not getting into this again. Scott, before we run out of time, what do you want to plug? Do you have websites? Do you have socials? What do you have?
Really, for me, Instagram is my biggest thing. I do have my Facebook page, Sevins Fishing. It's Sevins Fishing. That's Facebook. But my Instagram, that's where I'm really most active, and that's Scotty Sevins.
Okay, so
Sevins
if someone was interested in booking a fishing trip with you, messaging Scotty Sevins on Instagram is the best way.
Yeah, that's the best way to do it. Either that or my Facebook page. My cell phone number is all over my Facebook page.
And most of your trips leave from the Ocean City area?
Yeah, all Ocean City except starting in the fall. I'll just say use October for a start date. I do move the boat up to Shark River and fish out of Shark River once that migration gets in full swing. So right now, my major focus is sheep's head fishing. I've really carved that out as my specialty and my niche, the Jersey sheep's head. So that is my primary focus at the moment and has been since end of May. And then I'll really switch gears into the striped bass once that migration kind of rolls in. But a lot of my trips, even though we're sheep's head fishing, I am usually there is opportunities for bass as well. You know what I mean? So it just depends what stage of the tide we're in. But I usually try and go to round out a backwater slam on my sheephead trips. So sheep, tog, bass, that's usually my big three. I try to check off on every trip.
Yeah. I told Joe I wasn't going to do this, but I really did want to talk about one more thing before we let you go. And it's specific to the sheep's head.
Yeah, sure.
And so my question is, so you look up sheep's head in New Jersey, there is zero regulations on them. There's there's no creel limit. There's no size limit. You look at the Skillful Angler program that me and Joe talk about all the time. It's not even on there.
Nope.
What is the deal with that? And
this is a subject that I'm very passionate about because humans in general, especially us here in the Northeast, we don't have a lot of fish to target. So what we do target gets absolutely destroyed and obliterated. People just can't help themselves, So when it comes to this being such a special fishery for us, and the fact that the politicians will not protect this species and give it the protection it deserves, it's something that really gets under my skin and burns my ass. It's something that we really need to fight for. to fish and wildlife and whatever politicians we have to, because this fishery is going to be destroyed before we ever have a chance to get it protected.
Is it a good eating fish? I don't even know anything about them.
Don't eat fish at all, but from what I understand, people say it's delicious. They say it's really, really good. Like I said, I personally don't eat it. I don't have a problem if somebody wants to keep like a couple small, 1, 2, 3, whatever smaller fish. But the big ones absolutely need to be let go. They're extremely slow growing. So if you get into a fish that's a double digit, like a 10-pounder, that fish could be 20 plus years old or more.
So they're like tog almost.
Very much so. Yeah, very much.
Except, I mean, tog, the numbers of tog are just astronomical in some of these places in comparison to this.
I totally agree with you. And listen, tog is another one I have a love and a lot of respect for. But tog, and I can only speak for me and my experience in my area, but tog is one of the most prolific fish that we have in my area in the Back Bay, hands down.
I wanted nothing more than to catch one sheep's head, just one, any size. I didn't care. I had all the tips and tricks that you gave me, and I tried for hours. Yeah. And I nonstop could not stop catching blackfish the whole time.
Yeah, you know what? Which is actually, it's a good problem to have. But when you're going for sheep's head, that is like one of the most frustrating things. It really is. And honestly, it's just the nature of the beast, especially depending on what way you're targeting them. Tog can be absolutely brutal. They're like little wolves, man.
They weren't dinks either. I mean, this was a night like I must have thrown. I think we only had 2 keeper size ones, but probably 24 and a half inch ones. Like missed by much.
The last few weeks, it's nothing for us to be throwing back like 10 to 15 keeper size tog, and that's just the keepers and not like the undersized one. I mean, like we got a fish that just last week, I think had to be 20 or 21 inches, man. Like that's a
nice one.
That's a big Back Bay tog, you know?
Oh yeah. That's a nice ocean tog.
Yeah. And that's like often. That's why, like, I'm all for conservation and protecting species, but, I'd like to see them protect the sheep's head and maybe add a little tog season.
It kind of seems like it's one of those catch-22 situations, right? Where if you start talking about it, you start bringing this to light, now more people are going to know about it. If then your efforts fail to get this fish, regulated properly or whatever to protect it, now there's going to be more people going after them. Oh, it's a free-for-all. This is how you catch them.
I really couldn't agree with you more. Yeah, it's absolutely a catch-22, but unfortunately, it's really catching on down here. I mean, I know North Jersey it hasn't, but you guys have a fishery for it there. It's not a lot of people are doing it, But yeah, it's something that needs to be regulated because I mean, even you have the spear guys, man, taking stringers of like 10, 12 fish, like trophy-size fish.
Yeah.
Those fish aren't being replaced. We don't have like a steady migration of sheeps coming into our back bays every single day. It's not like that. You know what I mean? You have a specific area, like you have a set amount of fish there, and those fish aren't really being replenished every day,
I mean,
something to think.
I wish that every angler took it up to themselves to just, regulate themselves. Because I hate involving, government agencies to do this and that because it always turns into something ridiculous. But
no doubt about it. I've actually, and I haven't really put this out there in the public yet, but I've been tagging sheeps for Gray's Fish Tag Research this year. So I'm really, really anxious to hopefully start seeing data come back from that. Because it's something, like I said, like I am passionate about these fish. Like, I can't think of to me, it's such a special fishery and I have so much like love for it. Like, I just want to see it protected and I want to see it do well. And I don't want to see this fishery collapse because I've already seen a change in it within the last few years, even especially, and even like kind of the last year or two. Like, double digits used to be like a common everyday thing. It's not really anymore. You know what I mean? Not the way I'll say. The average size of the fish keeps getting smaller and smaller and smaller. You know. With that being said, I will say this because we are in their, like here in Jersey, we are on their upper, like they're Florida fish. Okay, everyone associated with down south, Texas, Florida. Because we are in such the upper end of their migratory range, the fish we get are the biggest of the big. They are the biggest of the species. So a fish I would call smaller for our area, like a 5-pound fish, or like, that is for down south, that's a monster. You know what I mean? So we get the biggest of the population. They're prolific down there, but their fish aren't as big. So again, another reason why it's like important to protect what we have, because we don't just have like a population. We have a special population. You know what I mean? A true trophy once in a lifetime fish. And it's something that really needs to be protected. Oh, but I will say this, like I said, I've been seeing the average of the size go down and down. And I actually did, last year and this year, catch spawning ones. So had a couple males come up on the boat spraying their stuff everywhere. You know what I mean?
You can say jizz on this podcast.
Yeah. Okay. Spraying their spunk everywhere, slipping it. But yeah, it's just so it is nice to know that they are spawning up here. I know a few guys have babies actually show up in minnow traps and crab traps and stuff. So
all right,
it's definitely encouraging. But
well, I think that right there should be grounds to protect them in some way.
Oh, I totally agree with you. If there is fish that are truly spawning here and reproducing, and we have baby, it is a state that really needs, it's a fish that needs to be protected. And I just don't know if the people in charge don't know any better or what, or think it's like a couple randoms that just got caught here and there. But like I have video footage that says otherwise, well, I guide for these things. I can attest to this isn't just a fluke, Yeah.
You know what? I think you're in a unique position. You and a handful of other guys are in a unique position to kind of let them know about this. Yeah. But that being said, like, I don't know, government agencies just can't be counted on all the time to do the right thing, obviously. And like I said before, I think each angler, and this goes for any game species, really, you have to put it on yourself. You have to take it on yourself, and you have to regulate yourself.
No doubt.
There's plenty of smaller fish to keep. I threw back a big 10-pound fluke. The captain had the cooler open. I threw it right over the cooler back in the water. I said, I'm not keeping that.
Yeah. That's awesome because it's a special fish, and you know that. And people that appreciate fishing on a different level are the guys that like we don't look at fish as food. And I always love the quote that fish is too important to be caught only once. Especially a special one like some of the bigger ones.
Well, I'll take that one step further. I love to eat fish.
Yeah.
When I go out saltwater fishing, I want to bring home enough fish that I could eat it 2 or 3 times that week.
Yeah.
I still will not keep a fish over a certain size.
Yes.
It's the bigger fish, whether you love to eat fish or not, the bigger fish is worth more in the water. It's going to lay more eggs. It has better genes that's going to pass on. And there's plenty of smaller fish that taste better to eat.
Agree 1,000%, dude. We caught a freaking 60-pound mahi one time, and it was literally like eating freaking shoe leather. You know what I mean? So no, the bigger doesn't always mean better. And I want to preface this and say that I am not one of these anti taking fish home guy. I'm not one of the guys on like being belligerent and scolding people for taking a fish home. I'm not those guys that don't get involved with that internet bullshit. You know what I mean? It's up to you what you want to do with it. I'm just saying, for me, I just don't really choose to keep a lot. I do keep some. Like I actually do like striper cakes. I really do.
You can put pineapple on fish,
Oh, and I still wouldn't like it.
Really?
Yeah, dude, I don't like it. I mean, I like shellfish, clams, oyster scallops, crabs.
All right.
But there's something about a fillet of fish I just can't get down with, man. I don't know what it is. But like I said, I do love striper cakes because that's like eating a crab cake. If you never
like crab cake, yeah.
I would encourage you to look up striper cakes. Fancy yourself up a little bit of sauce. Dude.
Yeah. No, I've done that. I do a similar recipe with bluefish too, and I've given it to people. No, listen to me.
Dude.
Yeah, no, I don't want to hear that. I've heard this so many times.
Yeah.
I don't care because you're not listening. I've given it to people who don't like fish. They say, I like crab cakes, but I don't like fish. Just like him. I said, well, just try this. They eat it. They're like, this is a crab cake? I'm like, no, that's not a crab cake. It's made of fish, and it's made from a fish that most people don't know how to cook, and they think is disgusting. They give it to their cat.
So you make like a fish cake out of bluefish.
Yes, but you have to cook it a certain way. You have to cut the dark meat out, and you have to poach it in a certain stock. All the oil from the fish comes out in the stock.
Yeah,
and then
really.
You have this white fish that tastes similar to striper, and you can use it to make a cake. I guarantee you can do the same recipe with it if you prepare the original bluefish.
I believe you. And you know what? The next time we hang out or whatever, I would be willing to try one of those bluefish cakes, just because I need to say it to believe it kind of thing. To me, bluefish is bait. What I mean?
I hear you. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I believe you though. I believe you. Listen, I have no reason not to believe you.
So now we need to have a live fishing with Scotty Sevins followed by a catch and cook.
Yep.
Sample. But
Andrew still is furious.
All right, look, Joe is twitching because he said the episodes are too long and I make them too long, and I did it.
No, you said the episodes are too long, and you said you make them.
I said people are telling me the episodes are too long, and I'm telling them to just fucking turn it off and go fuck themselves.
I don't know. I feel like it all has to do with like the vibe and the flow. If the thing's flowing and like it's going well, like I don't mind watching longer episodes.
But here's the thing. We could talk to you all night about fishing. Same thing happened when we were talking to Captain Ron. He gets off and he's like, I could talk to you guys all night. I'm like, well, yeah, but I don't think anyone wants to listen to 8 hours.
No, I hear you.
But dude, we're going to let you go for real this time. Because I couldn't get out there with you when I was on vacation, I'm going to try again. I got a date booked with you.
Yeah.
Me and Katie, my girlfriend, are going to try to get down there and fish with you again.
Awesome.
Hopefully the weather cooperates this time.
Yeah. I believe we kind of reserved like a couple days. Right.
Do whatever. I don't want to inconvenience you, but whatever.
No, man, that happened. And first, closing, I want to say thank you very much for having me on here, and I really did enjoy it. Chris, you are a guy that that like as soon as I started following you, I just had nothing but the most respect for you and what you do. You grind hard, get it, man, and you are extremely well versed. And I wish that I had more of that. You know,
I appreciate that, and I mean, I thought the same thing about you, and specifically that those sheep's head and those back bay South Jersey fishing that I don't really know much about.
Yeah, dude. Well, let's get it, man. Let's make it happen. And Joe, really nice to meet you, man. Thank you very much.
You too. You too, man.
I think I just followed you, or I'm going to follow you. I would like to like really keep in touch, and
Absolutely.
You two are two good guys, and I appreciate the opportunity to come on and talk with you.
We appreciate you coming on, and hopefully we do get to fish together.
Absolutely, man. Let's make it happen.
Thank you so much.
All right, sounds
Thanks,
good.
man. You have a good one.
You as well.
We'll talk to you.
All right, so that was cool. Scotty Sevins. First time I ever met him or even know anything about him, so that's very cool to learn.
Yeah.
Hopefully we get to go fishing with him. If John Fallon's watching this, you come with us.
I booked a date already, so we got. But Katie wants to go, so you don't fit.
I don't fit. Me and John. Well, Fallon will fit.
We got to do another. We got to do another day. I don't care.
It's all right. Yeah, we'll take 2 days.
We drove further
next
to
week.
shark fish.
Next week, Sky Varuso, the Sky Life, one of the, if not the most popular freshwater fishing YouTuber in the state.
Yeah.
If you have questions for Sky Varuso and follow the Sky Life, please email njmultispecies@gmail.com. He will be here next week. I'm excited for him. I've always wanted to talk to him for a while.
Yeah, I mean, I personally know him. I worked with his mom, and I fished with him. Real nice kid. One of those situations where you got the internet, and a bunch of people on the internet hate him, and a bunch of people on the internet love him.
Yeah, we're gonna find out why.
Most of them don't even know him.
We'll find out that next week.
Yeah,
next week. But in closing, again. This episode was brought to you by Captain Ron's Fisherman. If you're looking for a party boat, take your kids on, your family, want to charter a boat for a business trip, anything like that, Captain Ron's Fisherman, Atlantic Islands.
Yeah, and we get reports from Captain Ron. You get it, Captain Ron's Fishing Report, almost daily. I think every time he goes out, I think he puts up a fishing report. They have been they're still fluke fishing, and this is the time of the year where any fluke you nail right now in the ocean could be that fluke, that
doormat,
that monster. His pool winner is 5-6 pounds a lot of times, sometimes bigger. And all I got to say is there's been a lot of weather. The weather hasn't been cooperating a lot. Just double check that because he's not going to go out if there's some kind of swell that's going to mess up the fishing. He's not going to go out and take you for a boat ride. So just
he posts. He posts when he's not going.
Yeah, double check. I mean, they've been catching fluke. They've had to work for it though. He's had to do power drifting, whatever needs to be done. But they've been catching him. But I mean, it's far from easy. You're going to go out there and just drag your bucktail around and catch. You got to work for it. It
is time to gamble for a doormat though. But vacation is over. I'm going back to fishing. We're back from vacation. Podcast is back to being on every week again.
Most people fish on their vacation because they like to do it. You take a vacation from fishing?
I took a vacation from this bullshit. Yes, I'm gone. Fucking had enough. All right, we will see everyone next week with Sky Varuso. Email your questions if you have questions for Sky.
All right, guys, take care.
Take it easy.
See you next week.
Bye, Andy. Oh, real quick. If you go on the NJ Skillful Angler video that I made, when you click on the picture that says Joe Santiago, a photo of Dwayne comes up. It's pretty hilarious.
Wait,
and it
what?
happens. When you click my picture on the leaderboard, it brings up a picture of Dwayne. And
Why?
it actually happened to me in the middle of making the Skillful Angler video. And I'm like, here, let me show you what a picture of me looks like. And I click it, it's Dwayne. I'm like, what the like in the middle of filming.
They're
What
like,
you'll see it.
that's not a garden gnome. That's a giant Sasquatch.
It's a giant Sasquatch with a smaller fish than mine. I mean, let's get this off of here. Good night, everyone.
Oh, yeah, we're cutting it after that.